Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another edition of the Papa D's Cooking Show here on ITV, broadcasted from you from the train in Fordsburg Square. I promised you on this series to give you a lot of those old traditional meals, and one of our favorites, of course, is dal and rice. Now, most mothers don't have the time to do it so often because they're working, and dal and rice, as you know, does take quite a bit of time. Surely you know that your dal you usually boil for about an hour, then you start cooking your curry base. Your onions is another 15 or 20 minutes. If you're adding tomatoes, you need time for that. Then you put your chicken in, you cook that and add it all together. So I don't need to tell you, you do the maths, how long it takes you. Now today, I'm going to do you a Durban style dal, and they normally use the pea dal and a pink dal as a mixture of dals that they use for this curry. So you've got your dals ready, they've been soaked, and I'm going to run you through the next lot of ingredients. But before I do that, I want to start up my pressure cooker, because I'm going to again use it as a conventional cooker and as a pressure cooker later. So I'm switching my machine on so that it can start heating up. It's gone on heating. I've left the lid on but not closed, just to speed up the heating process. Now I know your mother's always told you, you have to braise your onions first, then you put in your meat, braise the meat, let the juices extract, and then move on to the next step. So I'm going to jump a whole lot of the steps, and hopefully it'll be as just the way your mother wants it. All right, so I've got some onion that I'm going to use in this dish as well, but let me run you through all the ingredients, and then as soon as the pot is heated, we can start cooking. I'll be using some dry red chili in here, ginger garlic paste, my cloves and ilachi or cardamom, and then of course my cinnamon. Those three are my favorites because they're very aromatic. And then I've got ghee. You can use oil, but I love ghee. It actually enriches the flavor. I've got my salt. I've got my jeera powder, my dhana powder. If you're not sure, I said to you always, when you're using the same type of spices, just take a taste and you'll know immediately which is which. I'm using haldi here, whole jeeru, fine red chilies, cinnamon I've already mentioned. I've got my chicken pre-cut. On one of the other programs, I've shown you how to cut the chicken up. But the important thing here is, you'll notice I've cut it, washed it, and I've left it in the water. Now, normally, you would put it in a colander and let the water drain out. But I want the moisture from the chicken in my pot, not in the drain. So I've left my chicken in here, it's washed and ready. And I think my pot is hot enough. There we are, that's hot enough. It's still on the heat setting here. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in. Bismillah. And then I'm going to add in my ghee. And my favorites, the clove. I'm just going to crack my cardamom, so that I can get all those flavors from inside also infusing. I'm putting about 2 or 3 cloves in there, and about 2 pieces of cinnamon. And now I'm going to put my chicken in. Also, at this point, you could put in your whole red chili. What I like about this chili is that even after cooking, once it actually hydrates, you get a whole red chili at the end of your cooking process. Right? I'll add in my jeeru as well now, because here I want, you normally put the vagar from the top, but I'm working the other way around. You can still do your vagar from the top as well. That is, in chef terms, they would call it a tarka. You can give it a tarka afterwards as well. But I'm just firstly getting this going to speed that. I need my I need my cumin to be nicely fried, so it'll almost be turning black before I add the rest of this in. I've just put the lid on to speed things up. If you're not so pressed with time, then it's not a problem. All right, so here we are. You can hear the pot sizzling. I'm happy with how my cumin and other spices have already started releasing their aromas. And now, you know, where you would have normally put your onion in first, I'm putting my chicken in first, because I don't want the water from the onion to cause it to slow down the release process on the meat. Bismillah. You'll notice I haven't drained this meat. I'm just lightly shaking off the excess water. Very important, crack the bone. This is where your flavor is, in that bone. And I've just given it 1 or 2 slits. I'm just putting the lid on for a few minutes. I'm not pressurizing. I haven't sealed it. While that's happening, I'm going to cut up my onion. Always remember, when you're working with round veggies or fruits and you're going to cut them, just cut them in half first so they become safe to handle. There we are. My meat's already turning white, as you can see there. So I'm ready to move on to the next step. And that would be to put in all my dry spices. Start off with I'll use about 2 spoons of this. I like but remember, with these as well, some people use a lot of chili in their mixes, and that can make your curry very strong. So just be sure that you are using something that's not too strong. All right, I'm going to get in about 2 spoons of salt. As I've mentioned earlier, rather put more. You can always add more later. Put less, because you can always add more later. That's done. I'm going to start with my jeeru. That's my dhana powder. I'm putting 2 of these in. I've already got whole cumin in here, so I'm only just going to put 1 full spoon of that. Add in your haldi. And now some fine red chilies. The one I'm using is a Kashmiri one. It's got a nice color, but it's also strong at the same time. That's done. I'm going to give it a quick toss over again for all the spices. There we are. I'm going to add in my onion. That's done. While I'm busy with the next step, I'm just going to leave the cover on so that it can start cooking. But I haven't sealed it yet. I've just left the lid on. Now we come to our dals. You could cook them the old conventional way for an hour. So I'm going to use this beautiful Philips handheld blender here, because I don't have the time to go and get out a big machine and get it into the jug, and then I've got to clean all that. So this one's perfect for me. I'm going to add in my water here. Bismillah. A mutton dal and rice, for instance, you'll obviously have more time, so you could actually cook the dal with it, but then you'll have the dals fully cooked, but you'll still have some of the dals being whole. But I want that nice smooth textured dal. Now the normal procedure is, I see most of the ladies cook their dal first so it's soft, and then they go through this step. I've just jumped ahead and done it the other way around. I've added in my pea dal. So now there we are, the first dal is ready. I'm going to now get my next dal all ground up. I start off under normal, and then once the spluttering is all over, this dal is actually a bit softer. And you'll agree with me that's a lot easier than using a blender. All right? I also want my tomatoes to be smooth. I'm just going to mix them in here. Again, I've used the canned tomatoes. There we are. That's done. I'm going to add this in now. Now you could always keep all these things ready. Keep your dals liquidized. Keep everything ready. So when you start cooking, all you need to do is just mix all the ingredients in. Now that I have everything in, I'm going to close the lid. Make sure your vent is in the closed position. And I'm going to set this. If you check out your machine, it's got a setting for chicken, and then just above that there's one for 12, which means 12 minutes. My machine is all set. I'm going to switch it on here. It's set for 12 minutes. Now how do you like that for a dal in 12 minutes? We'll see in 12 minutes time what the results are. So here we are. My 12 minutes are up, and let's see. They say the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let's first see what it looks like. I'm just waiting for the pressure. Just remember, make sure the safety valve drops, but nevertheless you can't open it anyway. There you are. My safety valve has dropped, and now I'm opening. Bismillah. Wow. Can you see it bubbling away there? And let's check the consistency of the dal. Remember, this was actually cooked in 12 minutes under pressure. There's my nice red chili. The onions are still showing quite nicely as well, so they've cooked just perfectly, but of course they're completely cooked. And now we can serve our dal and rice. I'm going to call on Chef Proud to help us with that. That's our presentation of a dal and rice. Please try it at home and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Like I said, you're going to have the flavors from the meat. You're also having the flavors from the dals. It's all been cooked together into a nice smooth finish. As I've said to you earlier, you could cook the dals for an hour each and then liquidize them and then go through the process. But here this was a 1, 2, 3 for you. And until we meet again, from the Papa D's at the train, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.